Well, thanks for joining me for just a few minutes. I know I'm the one who's been asking you to get into watch parties and start thinking about inviting people over to your house and all of that kind of stuff. Well, one of the things that's super important is that you know what to do, that you know how to actually reach out to people around you. As you well know, the mission of our church is to help people heal from life's hurts. So let me just ask you, how do you do that in your own neighborhood? Today, I want to talk to you about how to help people heal from life's hurts in your own neighborhood as an individual. Because here's what I want you to know. Jesus gave you, just like he gave me, not because I'm a pastor, but because I'm a Jesus follower. He gave us this thing called the Great Commission. And yes, as a church, we should do that. But you and I are the church, so we've got to do it right where we are. And so I've come up with a little idea that I want to give you. It's a way for you to actually help people heal from life's hurts right in your own neighborhood. And I call it L.I.G.H.T. Why? Well, because Jesus told us as his followers, we are the light of the world. And so I've just taken that word light and I've created this idea for you to go step by step. How do I actually move towards this great commission Jesus gave us and helping people heal from life's hurts? So let's take the word light and let's break it down quickly so you'll have a way to actually do that. So the first part of light is this. It's simply listen to them. When you listen to someone, it is the best way to develop a relationship with them. Oftentimes we introduce ourselves to a new neighbor or somebody we're just meeting, and we find ourselves talking more than we find ourselves listening. When I first moved here 20 years ago, I literally had a little chart of all the houses on my neighborhood, and as I learned their names, I wrote it down. So I had to listen for their name. Oftentimes, has that ever happened to you? You meet somebody and then you walk away and you can't even remember their name? That's a good indication I didn't listen. And the best way to develop a relationship is to listen. Who are they? What do they do? Where did they move here from? What are they up to? What's their family like? And over time, you listen to them. And let me just tell you, after a few times of listening to them, we move on to the I, which is simply this, that I invite them over to eat. Did you know that eating with somebody is the best way to intentionally spend time with them? There's something that happens when you sit across a table from someone. And let me tell you, that works in a restaurant, but the game changes when it's in your home or their home. There's something intimate about sharing a meal with somebody. So after you've listened to them and you know their name, you've gotten to know them a little bit, cook a meal for them, put out your best, just do your best work in the kitchen and say, hey, look, why don't you guys come over and let's eat? And look, you're not trying to do anything at all, but just invest in them. It's the best way to spend intentional time with them. I listen to them, I invite them over to eat, and then let's take a look at the G. The G is this. I give them a practical gift. Do you know what that is? That is the best way to show thoughtfulness. Let me give you an example. Maybe you see this neighbor that you've found out their name now, and you see them walking their dog all the time. Well, look, next time you're at the grocery store, buy a little bag of dog treats and leave it on their front porch and just write a note and say, Frank, it's so nice to meet you. I'm glad we're neighbors. Saw you walking your dog, thought your dog might be hungry too, right? I mean, just a little something to say, I know who you are and I see what you do, and that's important to me enough that I thought about you when I was ordering groceries or I was at the grocery store. Just a thoughtful gift. I mean, maybe it's a kid-friendly item. Maybe it's it's a flashlight for the garage, or a rechargeable one, or something that you go, hey, I have this. I use this all the time. That'd be awesome. I wish Frank had that. And a thoughtful gift. Just give them a practical gift. It's the best way to show thoughtfulness. And remember, we're being a light. And then let's take a look at the H. The H is this. Help them do something. When you help somebody do something, it is absolutely the best way to show them you're valuable. You know why? Because you're giving something that's valuable to you. It's called your time, the most valuable thing that you have. You say, well, what does that look like? Well, maybe they're out doing yard work. It's like, hey, can I give you a hand? I love to weed eat. You may not love to weed eat, but you're thinking about them. Maybe for you, you see them doing a home project. They're repairing their fence. They're out digging. Grab your shovel and walk across and say, "Hey, how can I help you?" That's a great question. How can I help? Maybe it's just as simple in the morning maybe it's Thursday morning for you when you roll up your trash cans back up to your house, that you literally walk across the street and you take their trash can and you roll it up by their garage door. You just get it off the street for them. It's a way that you can do something and just help them with something practical, right? Something that they're doing. You're just telling them they're valuable. Let's look at the T. The T is this. Tell them your story of following Jesus. And let me just tell you, that is the best way to share Jesus, when you tell your story. There's no better way. I can't preach the sermon about your story of how Jesus has changed your life and how you now follow him. It's the best way to share Jesus. I think about that, and I want to say something in that moment about that. Yes, you tell them your story of following Jesus, and let me say it this way. You tell them eventually, not immediately. It's not, "Hey, I'm Shane from across the street. Oh, Frank, nice to meet you. Let me tell you why I follow Jesus." You're done at that point. No, you tell them eventually, not immediately. You're being a light in your neighborhood. You are starting the process of helping people heal from life's hurts. You are literally doing the Great Commission where we're supposed to be doing the Great Commission. Did you know it's really hard to do the Great Commission inside the church? Because we've got to go. You're out there in your neighborhood. It's how you help people heal from life's hurts right in your neighborhood, is be a light. And the reason I give this to you is because you've got to be intentional about it. Rock Point Church would not exist had I not used what I just shared with you to reach the people around me. It had to start with me, a Jesus follower who cared about my neighbors enough to be a light in my neighborhood and to listen to them and to invite them over to eat, and then to do things practical, like give them a practical gift and then help them with something. And then eventually, not immediately, I had the opportunity. Once they knew I cared and loved about them, I had the opportunity to tell them something that really mattered to me. And let me tell you, many of them, their life changed, and they were healed from the hurts in their life. Look, I'm not telling you anything you can't do. These are very simple things that you can do. And I want you to know what to do next. So I don't want to ask you to be in a watch party and just go, "Well, we got together and we watched it." There's an intentionality of you and I doing the Great Commission. And this whole light strategy is a great way for us to think through. This is how I do the Great Commission, step by step by step. I hope you'll take it. I hope you'll look around you. Maybe you need to get a little map of who lives around you and begin to listen and walk through L.I.G.H.T and be a light doing the Great Commission in your neighborhood. And when you do, you will help people heal from life's hurts right where you live. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you'll take this to heart and do something with it.